will be the Power Players presentation. All in favor of this motion, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same, and there is none. We'll move on to the approval of minutes of our City Council regular meeting of November the 11th, 2024. What is pleasure of council on approval of minutes?
Make a motion that we approve the minutes as we read them.
Have a motion and a second to approve the minutes as presented. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same, and it is unanimous. Next item is the mayor's comments. Whoville was a huge success again this year. Shout outs go out to Mary Beth Tackett, the Chamber of Commerce, and all of its volunteers for a great event. Thank you to all the merchants also, the vendors and citizens for their support of this annual event. Phase 2 of the cherry tree planting program was completed today. Thanks to Sid Stroop and his group, they planted 82 trees across our city, from the street along the side of City Park, all around City Hall, the street side at Cherryville Plaza near the ABC store, and especially on First Street. Phase 3 is scheduled for the fall of 2025. A very special thank you goes out to John and Judy Talbert for their generous contributions that made all this possible for the beautification of our city. The owner of the Mexican restaurant at Food Line has signed a contract to open another location on Main Street. He is planning to do a Chipotle-style restaurant in the former Butter Me Up building, which was formerly housed for Fatty's Man Shop. The two projects on Pink Street and Hampton Drive are now finished. The repairs were made where the roads were beginning to collapse. These two major projects have been on the city radar for over 10 years, and they finally are completed. The Larry and Carolyn Summer Recreation Complex is nearing completion. The gym floors should be finished sometime this week, and work has also begun on the playground area. The city is anticipating a ribbon cutting and grand opening sometime this month. The city Christmas luncheon is scheduled for Thursday, December the 19th at the community building. All city employees, staff, and elected officials are invited to attend. To all our citizens and surrounding community, the city's annual Christmas parade will be this Saturday, December the 14th at 10:30 a.m. And in closing, from the city staff, all of our council members, and your mayor, I want to wish all of our citizens a very safe and happy holiday season. And as always, I want to remind everyone of the reason for the season, and that is the birth of our Savior, Jesus Christ. This concludes the mayor's comments. We will now go to the Power Players, Piedmont Lithium Power Players from our school, and Miss Emily Winters is here. If you want to come up and come to the podium. Oh, we have our AD too. Mr. Powers is here too.
You guys, welcome. Thanks for letting us come in again. We know we missed last month. We were super busy with athletics that night and couldn't get our November Power Players here. So Ms. Winter already recognized them. She came to the school to give them their gifts, but we want to let their coaches recognize them tonight in front of you guys, and then we'll also do the December one tonight. So the first one we're going to have come up is volleyball and Coach Heisen.
I'm recognizing Emily Allen tonight for outstanding performance in volleyball. Emily was just named as our MVP of our team. She is extremely skillful on the court and has very good leadership qualities. She led in a lot of categories, including 164 kills and 473 assists. He also tallied 172 digs, 20 blocks, and 57 aces. Emily was our captain on the court this season, and she led us to a record of 16-8. We went to the state playoffs again for the fifth year in a row. Emily was one of 2 players named to the all-conference team. She was also chosen as an all-region and second team all-state player. Emily also worked very hard in the classroom and received Best and Brightest award due to her hard work in the classroom.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Coach.
Our second representative from November was our football team, and Coach Bowman is here to represent.
Yeah. Let's see what. Now it's.
I'd like to say thank you all for having us and giving us the opportunity. The young man I'm nominating tonight is Najee Whitworth. Najee is a sophomore. He's a great football player. He had 6 interceptions, which led within the conference, and 6 offensive touchdowns. Not only is he a great football player, but he's a great young man in our building, and he's an honor to coach. So it's a blessing to coach him. Couldn't be more proud and excited to see him in the future. Like I said, he's only a sophomore, so we're really excited about him.
Yeah, I mean, that won't.
Thank you, Coach. 6 interceptions.
Now on to the, well, what we were considered the month of November, but we recognized them in December. We're gonna have, our tennis team, our women's tennis team from the fall, and then the first winter sport that we'll recognize will be wrestling. And our January meeting, we'll get a young lady from our girls basketball team and a boys basketball player. So, I'm gonna go ahead and start with mine for wrestling, and then we'll, let, Coach Schull come up in a minute and do tennis. Come on up, Kelly. Tonight, our December power player that we're recognizing for our wrestling team is a junior. His name is Caleb Pendleton. He is a one-sport athlete at Cherryville High School. He's just a wrestler. Last year, he had a really good season. It didn't end the way he wanted to. Got injured right in the last couple of weeks of the regular season and didn't get to have the postseason he wanted. Off-season workouts have been fantastic. He came into this year as a 144-pound starter. Caleb is currently ranked 3rd in the state at 1A. So in the 4 divisions, he's the 3rd ranked wrestler in the state for what he will compete in at the state championships. Caleb is a captain on the wrestling team. He's become a mentor and an excellent home mat coach for our young wrestlers. Like I said, Caleb has currently ranked 3rd. This past week we had some good matches against some of the number 1, the number 3, and the number 4 team in the state. Caleb went 2-1 and only lost to the kid that is ranked above him currently. So 57 career wins early on in his junior year. Caleb has a high GPA and continues to challenge himself. He's also a member of the FCA and the Compass Club. Caleb will, as long as everything goes, some hope to vie for a chance to go as one of the top 4 Western Regional wrestlers to the state championships. This year, like in 2016, Cherryville High School and our community will host the 1A Western Regional. So essentially that's every team that's 1A from the east of Charlotte, Union County area, west, all the way through the Appalachian Mountains. All of the 1A teams will come to Cherryville on February 14th and 15th, and we will host that in Nixon Gym. So there'll be a lot of visitors in town from all over the western part of the state. Like I said, last time we got to host that was 2016. We missed out on it in the COVID year, but this will be an exciting opportunity for us. So Caleb Pendleton is our wrestling female power player.
Did you say that was February the 14th through the what?
14th and 15th, that Friday and Saturday.
Congratulations.
John mentioned you guys do have, I gave some, don't Don't let him sneak out of here with them, Lance. Don't let him sneak out. I brought calendars for everybody, anybody that wants one. So feel free to grab one of those winter calendars. They'll take you through February. And now, Coach Schultz.
Yeah.
Good evening. This year for Ironman tennis, women's tennis, I'm nominating Morgan Ray. Morgan Ray is a sophomore. She played the #1 position all year long, so she played the best of the best from any other school who competed against us. She won a few matches this year, played against some really top competition from the state, including a defending state champion where she played her twice in really tough matches. Morgan is an inspiration to her team. Without her leadership, there was a chance we weren't even going to have a team this year. We had a very few girls coming back. She took it upon herself to get some of her friends to take the opportunity to try to play, to learn the game of tennis, and for that I'm very appreciative. Morgan was selected as part of the 1A Southern Piedmont all-conference team for tennis this year. She's still continuing to go out and work even with the season being over. She also plays basketball and she runs track. So expect big things out of her in the next few years. Thank you, Morgan.
Good to see you again.
Thank you so much.
Good to see you, man. Good, how are you? Good.
What's up, daughter? You not hear me call you when you got live the first time?
Good job. Good job.
I'll be back here for just a little bit.
Hey, you asked when you get that back.
She's good.
I'll be doing Thank you.
Okay, we'll now move on to our next item, which is originally was item 8, which is presentation of our physical. And we have Ms. Sheila Thornton from Butler and Stowe's here who will lead us through this. And I guess everyone's got a copy of our financial statement. So Sheila, you got the floor now.
All right, thank you. Thanks for having me tonight. Just an overview. We started the audit probably early August this year, did the field work, completed a lot of the work at the office after the field work. We submitted the audit before the October 31st deadline, and it has been approved by the LGC. It is a state single audit because of the funds that have been received and the bond funds. So we found no instances of non-compliance with any of that work due to the federal and state funding. So all of that we found in good order, and all of our questions were answered by the staff timely while we were here. So our audit opinion is unqualified opinion, which is a plain opinion, and that's what you want to see every year. So that means we found no material instances of non-compliance or anything like that. The city has met the audit requirements of the North Carolina General Statutes, and in front of you do represent the financial status of the city at June 30, 2024. The statements are around 90 pages long, so I'm just going to give you a few little highlights of an overview. So the general fund had an increase for the year of $683,343. The two enterprise funds, the electric and water and sewer, had combined income of $642,881 for the year. So very, very good, healthy year for the city. The unassigned fund balance of the general fund was $3,107,545 at June 30, and that represents funds that are available to the council without any kind of restrictions. So that's an increase of $687,000 from the prior year. And that unassigned fund balance represents 38.4% of the total general fund expenditures for the year. So that's a good healthy number. There continues to be some bond monies. I just wanted to point that out. The general fund still had $616,030, and the water and sewer fund still had approximately $2.7 million at June 30. Your assets exceeded the liabilities, of the city by $30,622. Again, that's a good healthy number for you. There's a compliance section in the back, and that goes into detail about the grant monies that were received and what was spent, and the reason that you had to have the single audit. So I'm willing to answer any questions if you have any. Those are just the highlights, and you can spend some time going through the details and any questions I'm happy to try to answer.
What was the percentage increase on the fund balance on unrestricted?
It is 7%.
7% from last year,
Right.
and that's 38%.
38, so what?
That's
you could-
pretty healthy.
You could take 38% of your fund balance and pay your expenses, for this fiscal year. If you didn't bring in any more money for the year, you could cover 38% of your expenses. So that's a really good,
Just to give you a snapshot, in 22, our fund balance was 18%, in 23, it was 31, and then this year is 38. So we continue to go up.
Dixie, you're doing a good job. And city manager, good job.
I'm sorry.
Mhm. No, go ahead.
That 38% restricted.
that's unrestricted. That's the
Unrestricted.
unrestricted. That's
Yeah,
unrestricted.
so that's available if we need it, I mean.
That's the reason I asked.
Yeah, that's your unrestricted fund balance.
That's unrestricted.
Does any council member have any questions for Ms. Thorne? That's good job.
Well,
good
we
job.
appreciate the opportunity to be the auditors for the city, when we're doing working with you, so appreciate that very much.
Okay, we appreciate you coming.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. That's good news. Okay, that brings us to our next item on the agenda is other business. And I think, we've already discussed some of that, for our February meeting. I think we, have decided to move that to the first Monday in February because there's conflict with the second Monday with
Yes,
some
sir.
of staff.
Yes, sir. We can move the city.
Do we
council.
need to put that in the form of a motion?
Yes.
Sure, okay. So, do I have direction from council on changing our February meeting to the first Monday in the month,
I move,
same time?
I move we change our February meeting to the first Monday in February. Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to move February's council meeting from the second Monday in the month to the first Monday in the month, same time, 6 p.m. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor of the motion, please say aye. All opposed, the same, and there is none.
Yes, sir.
February 3rd, okay. And,
Work session, I don't know if.
work session is gonna fall on December 31st, which would be New Year's Eve. We don't, at this time, we don't have anything that's pressing that we would need to have a work session. So at this time, if you wanna go ahead and make it official and cancel the work session for December 31st, which is New Year's Eve, you may do so at this time. What is the pleasure of the council?
Make a motion, go ahead and cancel that work session 31st.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to cancel the, December 31st work session meeting, period, just cancel that one. Unless something urgent comes up, then we still have time to change that, okay? Looks like it's it, folks.
If I could, I'd like to update you just a little bit.
Well, we need to vote on that. Yeah.
Got a motion and a second.
Yeah, got a, motion and a second, all in favor of that motion, say aye. All opposed, it is unanimous.
I just wanna make sure that you're aware, I did receive an email last week from an engineer with True Home. This is the old house wrap property that they are, preparing to move forward and probably start clearing and starting that development. pretty soon. So we're trying to schedule a meeting with them where we can meet face to face with their engineers, obviously our engineer, Mr. Wright, make sure we're all on the same page. Looks like they'll probably be starting sometime coming up in next month or two.
You know, are they still planning on doing retail development along the frontage?
They are, and that's one of the big reasons we need to meet. If you remember, phase one is along 150, it's supposed to be commercial property. But it looks like, I think they have some intentions of maybe switching that a little bit, possibly starting from the backside of the property, which is where, if you remember, some of the property will be served by our power, some will be served by REA. But if they start on the backside that borders Acre Circle, that will be our power, so we'll have to get that prepared for them as well.
Is our main water and sewer sufficient?
Absolutely.
The main is sufficient,
Absolutely.
because I was not on the council when that was approved.
Capacity wise, we're probably about half of where we can do right now, so we have a lot of capacity.
Okay, okay.
And then,
Clearing, West Academy for Real Partners, you've probably seen that if you've been by that way.
I didn't realize how much land that is. That's a good bit of land over there.
Yes, it is.
That's gonna be
And it's deep.
124 apartments there.
Okay.
Now, I understand that's not section 8.
No,
It's
it's not.
income based.
Yeah, it's not section 8, but it's based off what your income is.
Yes, it's
Or-
income based. Okay,
Yes.
that's, I will need to clarify that. Yes.
And like I said, the company that's building the apartments, they build them all over really the southeastern United States, but they gave me a brochure and it shows a picture. They're modeling this one after a complex that they built in Charlotte. So I have pictures and everything of the complex.
45.
3 stories high.
3.
1, 2, and 3 bedroom.
Correct.
It's not low income, it's called assisted
Mhm.
living.
Question.
So,
Yeah, for the most part, that's the majority of
I
it.
think there are only gonna be a couple threes.
There are gonna be, some 3 bedrooms, but primarily the 2 bedrooms.
I have another question on a completely different subject.
Okay, go ahead, Councilmember.
In my audit report, she was saying the $616,000 in bond funds.
That's from the Main Street bond. We have 2 bonds.
Okay, that's my question was, what are those bonds for?
That's for the Main Street bond, like, for a little bit, that was when we took out the Main Street improvement bond, when we, did the sidewalks and all that. We have $616,000 left over. Now, some of that, for example, today, like I said, we just finished, Pink Street and, Hampton Drive. We used some of those funds from the Main Street bond to pay that deal from Pink Street. I think we used Main Street to help pay for that. Because we do need to spend those bonds, because if we continue to make interest on those bonds, we can potentially have to pay some of that back to the federal government, so we need to spend those funds. And we're also gonna use, I think we're up to $160,000 on the Main Street to complete the gym, when that deal is complete. Because, we got the money coming in from the county commissioners, we got some of the Piedmont Lithium, community development agreement that we have, and then we're gonna use $160,000 of the Main Street bonds for Tennessee.
You have what you suggest?
Go ahead.
Roads.
Well,
I have so many complaints about the condition of our streets.
but that's part of, like Pink Street, for example. That was a road that was collapsed
I know.
completely. That ended up being about $180,000 project. By the time we bought the pipe and everything, it was about $180,000 to do that.
Because we had to put a new sidewalk in.
Well, we had to put new sidewalks in. The big thing that we didn't know until he got in there is when we got in there and started digging and pulling out the whole pipe, the dirt was terrible. We thought we would be able to use that dirt to fill back in, but we couldn't. So we had to bring in over 100 loads of new dirt. So obviously that was an expense that you don't realize you're gonna have until it comes in. And I think that was about $30,000 just for the dirt.
And over there on First Street at Blaine Bean, where they had to make that cut, that is really, really bad. I
Who
don't
had to
know.
make the cut?
Yeah, we had all the way across First Street.
That's where, the school was doing some plumbing work, I believe,
Yes,
last week.
yes.
Now, that'll probably, they'll have to patch that.
Well, it's really bad right
Yeah, They'll
now.
have to patch that.
It has to settle for a while before
Yeah.
they.
I know it will, but it's really
Yeah, I
bad.
saw them out there doing the plumbing. I don't know what kind of situation they had. but
I don't know what it
saw them.
was either. But
That will get patched, the county will do that.
I hope so. That will be
Uh,
good.
Since we're talking about the county, I wish they'd do something with that East School Woods. They're terrible.
Yeah, we,
And there's, dead trees, there's fallen trees,
There's the pine trees in front of the school that are leaning, and they need to be taken down.
Mhm.
I've actually, there's trees that didn't get cleaned up from the storm in May of